Hello and welcome. This is Hot Indonesia. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Here are my co-hosts. Yenny Wahid is director of the Wahid Foundation, which promotes pluralism. She is a daughter of the fourth president of Indonesia and new chair of the Indonesian Women's Congress, Kowani. And sitting in for Sandy today is William Wongso, Indonesia's premier food expert and native of East Java. Hot topic number one, financial fright. Confidence in Indonesia's currency is down, way down. The rupiah fell to its weakest level ever at more than 18,000 to the dollar. Stocks hit the year's lowest point this month as the world's worst performing market, down nearly 40% in 5 months. The global reason why is the war in Iran, of course, with shipping lanes closed and resources shifted. But, guys, let's talk about the domestic issues close to home and the impact on everyday life. First, analysts say that this isn't a catastrophic crash like in 98 because now systems are stronger and reserves remain in place. But trust is damaged. Trust in leaders, trust in recent government actions. Yenny, to you first. For you, what's hurt confidence the most?
Well, it's very interesting, right? Because our inflation is actually under control. All these indicators, right? Inflation, and then the growth is actually quite good as well, 5.6%. Compared to other countries. But the real problem, I think, is the uncertainty when it comes to policies. So markets can tolerate bad news, but what they cannot tolerate is uncertainty.
And that goes back to leadership and government.
Yes, exactly. And so I think what they're questioning is this the fiscal integrity of Indonesia. So they're seeing, governments keep changing the policies. Governments keep coming up with all these new projects and all these, great big programs that will need lots of money to fund.
We'll talk about that in the next segment. I know what you're referring to, Yenny.
But not only that.
Yeah, I know. I'm being funny. Well, but the impact, as we want to discuss in this segment, has already begun. Some capital projects are being put on the shelf, some postponed. Families, I heard, are quietly moving their money overseas. Prices on imported goods are beginning to creep up. William, what are you seeing? And does it really affect the average Indonesian who's maybe driving a taxi or selling food on the street?
No, in general, I talked to a lot of food and beverage operator. The revenue is going down. Could be people more reserve on their funding. They don't just spend.
They don't go out and eat anymore.
They eat, but they don't spend a lot of money for the food because then the dollars increase. A lot of imported ingredients increased tremendously.
Yeah.
But I just came back from travel from Central Java to West Kalimantan and West Sumatra, which is Padang. I always went to see the market. The market's still, in a glance, still busy. Mm-hmm. Except when it took a few people, they said the revenue is going down. That's the fact of reality. But Indonesia is, I think, is survival, and you don't eat all the luxury ingredients. And as you know, basically Indonesia in the old times they grew up with plant-based. A lot of very local ingredients. Except tempeh maybe because 95% of soybean still imported.
So maybe you said you saw the markets, the wet markets, dry markets. They are still busy, but people are not buying as much or as consuming as much.
But if I look at the stock of ingredients, still abundant.
Business contracts on a larger scale, business contracts paid in dollars are being put on hold because obviously they cost more. You need more rupiah. Yeah. But if you're coming to Indonesia, your dollar or your euro are worth a lot more than a few months ago. That's a small bright spot.
Well, it is when you look at it from the tourism perspective, right? Of course, cheaper Indonesia is great for tourists, but then what is the impact for ordinary Indonesians? They will have to pay, higher prices for everything, like imported fuel, medicines, food ingredients, as well as, industry inputs. And everything is affected by the rising dollars. And so, ordinary Indonesians will have to pay much, much higher prices And it is not a small thing. This is, people feel it. People feel the squeeze, the economic squeeze, and they're not happy about it.
Okay, now analysts say the next few weeks will be kind of crucial to the financial situation, financial anxiety. Whether the government will take solid action in restoring investor confidence. William, you've been through the ups and downs through the years. I'm not saying that you're like so old or anything, but how would you rate this economic situation we are in now as compared to maybe, crises in the past?
It's very hard to predict.
I mean, is it the worst?
I'm not the economist.
No, I know. I'm not, but that's the feeling. Like 98, that was bad.
Yes.
And everybody felt it, and we knew it. The region felt it. It's not that bad now.
I don't think we're on that level.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but William.
No, I agree, because when I looked at still maybe some little positive optimism among the Indonesian, except too much of the political issue at the moment.
Your question earlier about whether this is as bad as 98, I don't think so. Because our institutions are much stronger now, and our banking sectors especially so much stronger now.
So what's
like
the
you
advice?
said before, reserve is much stronger, so much higher. My advice is that government needs to stabilize the fiscal spending. They need to rein in all the spendings, because if you don't have the money, you need to borrow. Either you need to borrow or you need to rein in your spending.
But if you ask all the ministers, they're complaining that their budgets have been cut.
Yeah, but that's the other thing, right? Because if I were him, I would...
Him being the president?
Him being the president. I would look at all the programs and see which ones need more investment in terms of government's procurements, government's investments, right? What industry needs help, needs incentive, and put more money into that.
Okay, so reorganize and revise the budget and see where we are at this point in time, which we want to discuss next, because Hot Indo will continue shortly with the free meal mess, how to save the school lunch program.